Warning: following this process is a high possibility, if not certainty, of wiping your cabs of all its existing games. Only proceed if you're accepting of this risk. Hello everyone, and welcome to how to add games to your Iircade Gold cab or Gen 1 cab without access to the MIA encoder board. This is using the Iircade server emulator from Team Encoder, Mr. Encoder. And bear with me here. It's going to be pretty. I'm going to try the best I can holding my phone camera, and I'll be doing this kind of one-handed with typing and certain things. So hopefully it goes well. We'll see how it goes here. So first of all, you'll want to do this on either a laptop, or definitely preferred a laptop. So you can use a hotspot, because you'll need a hotspot to connect the Iircade to the server to emulate the Iircade Game Store server. So you can do this on a PC as well, but a laptop is recommended just so that it's portable, and that way you can set up your laptop near your machine. You'll see why that's important later with this process. So the first step you want to do is you want to go to open a web browser, again on a system that has, or again wherever you want to use for your hotspot, again either laptop or desktop. Go to archive.org, just type in your search browser for archive.org, and you'll come across this website. And in the search, don't use the Wayback Machine, it's something else. Right here you want to type in Iircade, and then click on Go. You'll see multiple things, and this is actually where you can get some of these game packs to add to your Iircade once we get things rocking and rolling. What you're looking for here is this right here, iServer EMU latest. You want to click on that, and then you'll want to click on zip, and download the zip. Save it to your desktop. Sound begun. Doing this to my keyboard as I'm trying to do this video. Okay, that's downloaded. You can close out of here. We'll get rid of that later, so I'm just going to minimize that. And you'll see it looks something like this right here. Then you want to right click it. If you have 7-zip or whatever, you can do extract there, or if you have 7-zip, extract to here. So press either one of those and you'll get something similar to this. So you want to open that. You'll see multiple files. Don't worry about all that stuff yet. Just go ahead and scroll down. And you'll be clicking here. But let's not open that yet. Next step we want to do, now that we have that downloaded, we want to go to your Wi-Fi settings, or your internet, wherever your internet icon is, click on that, and then you want to type on mobile hotspot. Click yes, or click on it. It'll turn blue. You can right click on it and go and then go to settings. Now you want to take note of this and the network name, because on your Wi-Fi in your Iircade, you're going to be looking for this right here. Take note as well of your password. You're going to need the network password, so make a note of that, and then just make a note of your network name. So now it's on. Make sure it turned on. Click the thing for on. Again, you should see it will be blue that it's on. Now, the next step is you want to make sure you turn off any antivirus programs and Microsoft Defender. All the firewalls are off. So you'll go down to search bar, and you can just search in Defender or firewall. Search firewall. Or see, we just type in firewall. If you start typing firewall, you'll come across this. So just click on that, and you want to make sure these three things are off. So if they're on, you'll click on it, or yeah, you'll probably click on these right here. No. No, what the heck? Oh, there you go. These are probably on, so you want to go to Windows Firewall Properties, and then just turn them all off. That one you're turning off. Just whatever you have on these, turn them all off until you have all three of them showing as red, because otherwise the server won't connect. It's a common error forgetting to turn those off. Alright, so now that you've created the hotspot, you've made note of your password, and you've turned off your Defender and all your firewalls and no antivirus, then you basically will go back to this folder here, and you'll want to open the server EMU. Now you want to go to your Iircade, because you're going to need to fill out this device ID, and that's going to be important to copy it right here. So that's the next step. So we're going to go over to our Iircade. Settings. Information. See that? Device ID. That's the device ID. You want to copy that in. Copy that somewhere. And put it right there. Device ID. For the app ID, doesn't matter. Any 4-digit code. Doesn't have to be anything. 22244. That's what I do, but it can be with any number. Then we're going to click Set Up Network. Okay, after you hit Set Up Network, and you'll want to go to your back to your Iircade and go to Wi-Fi, and you want to make sure that you select the name of that hotspot that I showed you before. It might take a while to pop up. Or not at all in this case. So the Iircade, at least on the gold, it tends to turn off on me sometimes, which isn't fun. Alright, so that's what should happen, searching for Wi-Fi networks. So then I'm already connected, but that's my desktop. So I'd select it. You'd select it on your end, and then it's going to ask you for the password. And again, you copy down the password from that hotspot settings that I showed you before. And enter that in. Once you do that, you'll know this icon should be an X. It'll change from an X to exclamation mark. That's when you know that you're connected to the mobile hotspot Wi-Fi. Alright, so what we're going to do next is, let's see, then you're going to go back to this thing, and you want to hit start. Okay. Now at this point, so I'm just getting my notes here. So now it shows blank, you don't see anything here. But then if you go to your cab and then you select, let's see, now it's X'd out again. My Wi-Fi is kind of poor in here. Oh, there it refreshes. So now if you go to like any setting, like just say time zone, you go A and B again. Just that, or go to any game and press A and B. You'll now see, boom, all of a sudden it says connected. So we're connected, we're right on that, it says connected here, then you know you're doing well so far. So the next part is tricky. So what'll happen now is, let's say you choose package type and you click on ROM and you click on choose new package. It works for me, but if you just try doing that right away, for you, it's going to get an error talking about Java. So you can do that and see the error, and it'll take you to a page where you can download Java. But don't even try doing that. Instead, just pull up your browser again and type in Java JDK. You'll come across this. Java downloads. Click on that. The least is JDK22. You'll see here it's going to start as Linux, so you want to change this to Windows. And scroll down. And sorry guys, I'm using a micro keyboard and trying to hold my phone. Alright, so now you're on Windows. You want to click on this installer here. W64 installer. How come I can't click on it? Oh, right here. I want to click on this right here. When you click on that, it's gonna download it. When it's done downloading, you want to hit run the exe. Once installed, you run the exe and that'll install Java. Okay, so let's say we'll click on here. You want to save as, and then choose your desktop or wherever you want to go. I would choose desktop. When you're done with that, it's going to show up here. Hold on one second. Going to show up here is probably this right here. So you'll want to double click on it and run it. And that'll install Java. Okay. So once that's installed, you might think, oh, okay, now I'm installed. I can choose new package. Nope, you'll still get an error. So this is the other key part. What you want to do is you want to press your Windows key. And then search for environment variables. So in your search here, you want to start typing environment variables, and you'll come across this right here. So you want to click on that, and then click on the bottom of the window that says environment variables. Boom, right here. Okay, let me look at my notes again, guys. Then you want to click New under System Variables. So you'll see there's two parts of the page. You want to click on New. Where's my mouse? And then right here. And then for variable name, or system, let's see. So you want to type in this variable name, type in Java Home in uppercase letters. Java Home in all caps. Then you'll click on Browse Directory. Okay. So I already have it set up here, but see if I can type it real quick. Alright, so you'll see I typed in Java Home. I'm going to click Browse Directory. And then you're going to choose the letter that your programs are under. This is PC. And then you're going to go to Programs. So C drive. We're looking for Programs. And look for Java. Make that wider. You'll see Java 22. Just click on Java 22, and then you're going to click OK. I'm going to hit cancel because I've already done it. Once you hit OK, you're just going to keep hitting OK, OK, OK until it gets rid of all the cascading windows. So now your server should be all set. But there's some intricacies that are very important to note. Number one, in order for a game to get pushed and start downloading to the Iircade, it must show as connected in the status box of the app on your PC. So you see where here it says disconnected? It's because it times out. When I press the AB button on the cab, it went to connected, but then over time it disconnects. So it's kind of a pain in the ass is that the Iircade does not stay connected to the app. The trick is to getting it to show connected so you can push a game is to be on the menu of the Iircade, like in your settings, or any game, and press the A button and then B to back out. So whether you're like on set time zone setting or clock or whatever it is, or like highlighting above a game where you'd press A to see the instruction screen and then A again to launch. It doesn't matter as long as you're on something like that, some kind of icon, you press A and then B to back out. And all of a sudden you'll see it's been changed from disconnected to connected. So for example, it should disconnected. I'm going to go here, I'm on time zone. I'm going to press A, I'm going to press B, and now you'll see that it's been connected. Now it just disconnected. It's that fast. It can connect and disconnect really quickly. Okay, but that's just the way it works. Sometimes it lasts a little longer. So the trick is again, press A and B and back out. It works every time, but it can stay connected for as long as a couple minutes, but as short as 2 seconds, as you just saw. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to upload a game, and then run over to the Iircade and press A and B button back to your PC to push the next game before it disconnects. So that's why having a laptop is easier than a desktop. It's mobile, so you can basically sit it on top of the laptop, or sit the laptop on the spot next to your Iircade, so you don't have to run around like an idiot. You know, you can push more than one, because you can't push more than one game at a time. So if you did have the laptop, say, sitting right here or something, can't even see it because it's dark. But let's say you had it sitting right next to it. You could press A, B, and then go over to your laptop and say send game. And, you know, within those 2 seconds, it'll stay connected. And then the next game comes up, you try to send the next game. If it's disconnected, press A, B, boom, hit it again. So that's why it's good. Right now, I'm working off my desktop, which is connected to OTG for my Games Legends Ultimate, and it's, you can see, a little bit of ways from the Iircade. So sometimes I use my phone to use Team Viewer to connect to my thing, so I can just sit there on my stool with my phone and just push games after I hit A and B on my controller. Anyways, so that's something to keep in mind. Now to select a game, you'll first click, and let me get rid of this environment variables box here. I'm just going to hit cancel. But again, when you were, after you had chosen that Java 22, you should have just kept hitting OK till you get out of the screen. And now, if you've done that, when you click on choose new, and so after you do that, I'm sorry, I forgot a step. After you do the setting where you select the JK22 and you have that variable set, then you'll want to go ahead and close out of the EMU and go ahead and start it again. So after you've done the whole Java thing and you put in that variable and you hit OK, pass the numbers, next thing you should do is close out the exe EMU and restart it. And again, when you restart it, you can just again put your app ID number in, although it's not needed unless for Android APKs, but go ahead and do it anyways. And then you don't need to set up network again. You can just press start. Again, you'll see the connected, disconnected, but that means that at least it's getting information from the Iircade. But now you've restarted the app, you'll see that you can actually click choose to package, and I won't yell at you about Java anymore. So congratulations, you passed that part. Anyways, we explained about how to get make sure that it's connected before you push a game. Good reasons why to have a laptop nearby so you can do it quickly. Now select a game. You'll first click on the box next to the game type to choose Android or ROM. You might have seen me do it earlier. Okay, So a packed and ready to push game that you can find on that archive site. And by the way, in the description you'll see a link to the archive.org with Iircade to see all the different packs you can download from there, and also a link to the PAX RS Discord where you can find community-made packs to install to your Iircade ready to push. But again, you can have two options here, ROM or Android. A packed and ready to push game will either be an APK or a ROM. APK would be the Android option, okay? So you gotta know which type of game you're selecting from your folder that has games in it to know whether you're doing a ROM or an Android, okay? So basically, once you have a game that you've downloaded from either PAX RS or from the archive, make sure ahead of time it's important to open the zip. So double click the name of the zip to open that folder. If you have like WinRAR or 7-zip, you can right click on it and then click open, and it'll open up that zip, and you'll see a folder that says game. Okay, click on that, and in the next window you'll see a few different files, instruction or whatever. You'll see game again. Double click on game again to open that folder, and you're either going to see another zip or a file named APK. If it's a zip, then it means it's a ROM. It's basically a main arcade ROM, and you should select ROM as the type. If you click on game inside those folders and it says it has a file with APK, then you know it's an Android. You'll have to select Android as the package type before you choose new package. Okay. If you choose the wrong type, it will still upload to your Iircade and it'll look like it works, but you won't be able to try to boot the game. When you select A to start the game, it won't start the game. So it's important to make sure that. So what I did myself is I put, when I was getting games from those sites, I would check all of them just to go and see if they're ROMs or if they're APKs, and then I would put them in separate folders. So I'd have a folder that has all my ROM games that I can, when I click choose new package, I can select from the ROM folder, okay, all the games that I'm trying to push that are ROMs, and then I'd have the Android, the APKs, in a separate folder called Android. And so if I'm adding a bunch of games, I'd go and add all the ROM games first, and then I'd go and add the Android games, just so I'm not mixing them up. So it's very important to note. I'm trying to find my mouse here. All right. Another important thing to note is that you want to make sure whatever folder you have your games in has no spaces in the name. So like if you were to create those folders and say one is, you don't want to name it Iircade space games, because if you try to upload a file from a folder that has a space in it, the app isn't designed to recognize spaces. So you want to make sure it's all one. So you can just put in Iircade games, no space between the Iircade and the word games, just all one word, or maybe an underscore, and that'll work. Iircade ROMs, Iircade Android. Again, just make sure whatever folder the games are in, or whatever subsets the folders of games are in, that there's no spaces in the names of those folders. Okay, so that's very important, because otherwise it won't push it right. You'll get errors. All right, so now let's push a game to the Iircade. Depending on the size of the game too, it could freeze the app for a moment while it does prep the file to be uploaded. You'll know it's done when you can click in the window or button in the app. If it's a file under 15 megabytes, for example, you won't see any delay time. If it's Dragon's Lair, for example, you might be paused for 30 seconds or more. So for example, if I click choose new package, let's say I'm going to choose a Android game. Choose new package. I'm just saying when you select this game, and you go to press push right away, it might not. So let's do Vandal Hearts, right? It's a larger game. And you'll see if I try to hit send request, it gives me a waiting status. Because it's building the pack, it's a larger game. So just be aware that if you choose an Android that's larger, you want to choose it and then wait for this thing to disappear. It'll go away. See, now you can click it. So then now you'd go to the Iircade, press A, B, and push the game. Okay. So that's an example of using how when you do that with an APK, it takes longer. Okay. Now, ROMs, again, typically they're smaller. As soon as you select the game, it's going to, you can push it right away. So let's try to push a game. So you basically select ROM, choose new package. Let's go to where I have my ROMs. Okay. And then let's take my, so now I have my mouse hovered over the send request. So I go to my Iircade, and I'm going to do this one hand, but basically I'm going to do the A-B trick, and then press go. And it should work, but it's not. Try to restart my Iircade and see if that works. And that's going to take a while to restart. That's the thing, sometimes it doesn't work and you have to just restart your Iircade if it's been timed out for too long. These things take forever to turn off as well. The nice thing about the gold is that it has a marquee, so you know it's off, and to start it again when it goes out. But yeah, there's a good minute you have to wait. So hopefully you've been bearing with me this long so far. At this point, when you're trying to push the games, it's not working, then we're going to cover the next step as well, which is the one that might wipe your games. So like I said, you've been warned about it. I'm also going to go ahead and include a README file so you can kind of follow directions on your own as well, in addition to this video. And sometimes we tried to push it before and it just wasn't reading it and you had to do a restart. It'll just start loading it right away, but it won't in this case. So again, I still have my cursor hovering over the send game, pressing A, B, and hit send game. Yep, there we go. So you just loaded up Donkey Kong X. Now, if you've gotten to this point, and you'll see right here, this is the information you get when it does successfully send a game. Eventually, it'll say update result, and then it goes back to connected. It'll stay connected for a little bit of time to push another game before it disconnects again, if you're quick about it. But if you tried to push send request, And again, it's not doing anything. You've tried restarting your Iircade, but nothing's happening. It just goes to connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected. You don't see any of this stuff happening, and you followed all the other steps. Then this is the point where basically, one second. Like I said, on the send game to request, again, you've made sure you've clicked A and B to make sure it's still connected and whatever. Before it disconnects again, you've pressed the send request to cabinet. If it's working and you saw the game load up just like I showed you, then you're good to go. Then you don't have to worry about, is my Iircade going to erase all my games? You're all set. You did it successfully. Congratulations. Stay to watch the video a little bit longer because I'll have some other tips. Okay. However, if you're like me and another I've helped, when you press the send request to the cabinet while status shows connected, if it didn't do anything and just because it just, you click on send request to cabinet, but nothing happens and you just see it saying connected, disconnected, you press A, you press B, it still says connected, disconnected, nothing's being sent over. If that happened, then basically we need to do this last step that I warned about at the beginning is highly likely, if not certainty, at least on a gold cab. I don't have enough experience with Gen 1, but that this next step will wipe your cab of all your games you currently have installed. MAME type ROM games are readily available via archive, searching Iircade and PAXRS Discord, but some Iircade Store APK non-MAME titles are more difficult to acquire to repush to your cabinet. With this risk stated twice now, proceed with this next step with known risk. Others that didn't work without this next step, other people watching that did work without this step. Stay tuned though, again, for more tips after this step. But here it is. Here's the big step 9. Okay, if the send request didn't work, it's not working for you at all after you've done every other steps I showed you, you want to go to your Iircade, go to settings, and then click login. Okay, so we're going to go to settings. We're going to click on login. And you're going to get this notice. Log into another account user will force the system to go through the system reset. Do you want to proceed? A, yes. Okay. Now right here, you want to put your email address as anything you want. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be jongsucksdonkeyballs at blowmejong.com. Password can be whatever you want. You don't need to remember it for later. So don't worry about it. Just put anything you want in email and anything you want in password. And then you're going to hit player 1 start to log in. Now, at the point when you do that, it's either going to say successfully logged in and you're good. You're also now at a point where it will push games and you didn't lose any of your other games. So congratulations, you're free and safe and you're not going to lose your games. The other thing that's going to happen is at this point, once you log in with that dummy email and password, okay, then your system will do a power cycle. Okay, it's going to turn off completely and then reboot itself. If it doesn't, power on yourself once it's done powering down, and you'll see all the games have been wiped. Okay, so that sucks, but now the system will work. Okay. Now again, once that comes back online, if it restarts and resets, okay, so I click shutting down now, right, and then it actually shows you in the status here, it will show you device power status, so it tells you basically that it powered down, okay. Once it powers up again, you'll see it reconnect. So you can leave this as it is. Again, you've done the login, it's powered you off, expect that it's going to wipe your games when you come back on. But again, once you do come back on, you should be able to go. You haven't changed anything in your emulator exe, it's still sitting there on the game you've been trying to push, and leave it like that. Don't exit out of it. Don't choose another game. Just keep the one you're trying to push. And when this comes back on again, it'll show connected, and then you'll want to go ahead and push the game. And this time, you'll be successful if you weren't able to push it the first time. I don't know why. We're trying to figure out, but there's something with re-logging in. You know, since from the original server, original system we had when they were still in business, it's requiring us to re-log in to get connected to this new server. As again, you'll see that I've turned it back on, and so eventually, once it comes back on and connects to your hotspot again, you'll see it'll be connected, and that's when you want to go ahead and send requests to cabinet. Now again, I'm going to be including a document for you guys to read. If this was kind of a crappy video and stuff, I tried to do the best I could. See, client connected. It'll say disconnected again, so but you still know it's connected. So you want to hit the A/B trick on a game, or if you lost all your games, you want to do the A/B trick on time settings or some other settings to get it to say connected again, so you can then send requests to cabinet. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a few more tips where to do with my. Need my keyboard so I can go back to my script. So I want to give you some more tips here. Turn my keyboard power on and off again. Where is my mouse? Here we go. Sorry guys. Okay. Now here's the best way to do bulk games, the most efficient way. So much more often than not, once a game finishes uploading to the Iircade, it will end with the status window saying connected, and that's your chance to push the next game before it disconnects, and before it disconnects and have to waken it back on the Iircade. So here's what I do: as soon as I see the download progress happening on the Iircade itself, like you'll see a status bar that'll go across the screen showing that it's being downloaded. As soon as I see that, so as soon as I see the download progress happening on the Iircade itself, I'll press the choose package button again and select the next game in the list that I want to upload. That way it can do its build prepare process while the other one is still uploading to the Iircade. So as soon as that other one's done uploading to the Iircade and I see that connected status on the app, all I have to do is simply press the send request cabinet button again, and boom, the next one starts downloading. Then rinse and repeat. Sometimes I'll bang out 20 to 50 games in a sitting. After you finish a session, the next time it won't be next time you want to add games to the Iircade Gold or whatever, the process will be more simple. So basically, the second time we're doing it, here's your repeat visit steps. You're going to fire up your laptop PC, turn on your mobile hotspot, which again we found is in this icon here. Click on that, and then it'll always be this third one, and you just click, left click your mouse, and it's just gonna on your mouse pad, whatever, on your laptop, and it'll make the hotspot go on. So again, repeat visits, fire up laptop, turn on your mobile hotspot, open the app, okay, click the start server button, start button right there, turn on the Iircade. It should automatically connect to Wi-Fi after a few moments, and again you'll see that red exclamation point over the Wi-Fi symbol confirming this. And then number 3, in the app you want to choose your package type. Make sure status box says connected and press the button to push the game. If connected, do the A. If not connected, do the AB button routine and re-push. If during initial process or after adding games it stops working, it'll let you push a certain amount and then maybe it stops working. Try rebooting your Iircade. It's random, and sometimes it needs to work. It needs it to work again. Process can be a pain. It can be laborious. I hate it. You'll hate it. But at least it's something. It's what we got, and at least us gold cabbers and those with Gen 1 cab and no encoder board can still add new games and excitement to our Iircades like all the other cool kids. Other FYIs following this process, be advised that there are limitations with this method of pushing games. Unlike the encoder board, you can do more things. These limitations are no games that require advanced CFG files, sound samples aren't supported, neither are adding bezels, open bore games, RetroArch, or APKs that require you to push a OBB file. Okay? There is a method where all the above can be done as well. I consider it something for advanced users. A community member has recently came up with a solution for these type of games, and I will release a follow-up video in the near future to demonstrate this. But for now, let's all get up and running and get used to pushing games this way, and then we can move on to the next step another time. Links to archive to find game packs and packs to Packs R Us Discord to find other community created games are in the description of this video. But again, just to tell you guys, it's a pain in the butt, but it's kind of worth it. Using this process, I got lots of games. Got PlayStation 1 games, SNES games, PC, CD games, arcade games, obviously, Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games, Genesis games, Sega CD games. This is the all games list, guys. I'm not quite 1,400. I think 1,337, so close enough to 1,400. Alright guys, have fun, and thanks for watching.